Okay, at this time, we will call the March 15th, 2021 City Council meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance and invocation by Tony Space.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift of another day of life. We thank you for the opportunity to be a member of this council and to serve the citizens of Madisonville. Father, I pray that every decision that we make will be led by you, that you'll give us the wisdom, and that everything we say and do will bring you honor and glory. Father, I lift up those in our community that have been affected by the coronavirus. I pray for safety and protection for the rest of us. And as always, we ask forgiveness of our sins in Jesus' name. Amen.
Kim, can we have a roll call?
Yes, sir. Misty Cavanaugh. Here. Tony Space.
Here.
Adam Townsend. Amy Cruz.
Present.
Frank Stevenson. Chad Mincer.
Here.
Mayor, we do have a quorum.
All right, so our first order of business is approval of minutes. We'll start with the City Council regular meeting on March 1st, 2021.
Yes, the regular meeting of the Madisonville City Council was held on March 1st, 2021 at 4:30 p.m. in the City Council chambers. It was called to order by Mayor Kevin Cotton. We had the Pledge of Allegiance and invocation by Council Member Chad Mincer. Roll call, we had Mayor and all council members present. We had approval of the minutes of September 23rd, 2021. We had approval of bills and payroll. We had a council committee report. Annexation and zoning committee met and recommended that the zoning classification for Pappy's on Grapevine Road should be properly brought into the city council for a vote. We had second reading of the ordinances amending the general zoning ordinance known as Chapter 156 for the zoning classification of 2015 Grapevine Road was approved. We had an ordinance annexing certain real estate contained in 0.7611 acres located at 2015 Grapevine Road to be brought into the city limits was approved. We had a utility connection for Pond River Colliery Road for water services. We had a proclamation for Literacy Celebration Month, and we had adjournment.
Are there any corrections? If not, do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Next, we'll move on to the approval of bills and payroll.
We have the total general fund of $262,640.79, total sanitation of $99,957.60, total electric utility office of $146,238.87, total water filter of $56,744.25, total wastewater collection and treatment of $70,874.80. We have an estimated biweekly payroll of $47,290, police $125,264, fire $141,714, transportation of $36,370, cemetery $6,916, park $14,408, sanitation $36,649, light fund $85,877, wastewater treatment of $17,151, wastewater collection of $29,523, water and filter of $51,545 for a total estimated biweekly payroll of $592,706.
Do I have a motion to approve the bills and payroll?
Moved.
A second? Have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Next, we will move into the report from our auditor, Teresa Jones. Teresa, if you wouldn't mind to step up.
Good afternoon. I want to thank you for allowing my firm to perform the audit this year. It's been our privilege to be able to serve you. Now, the Finance Committee and I met early and we reviewed the financial statements in more detail. I know Mr. Space is going to be disappointed. We're not going to go line by line. He was asking me earlier if we were going to do this line by line, but I think we'll pass on that tonight. I just want to hit a few items of interest. But if you have any questions at all while I'm going, just interrupt, just ask questions, and I'll try to answer them as I can. But the city has been able to maintain an overall solvent financial position, solvent financial condition, and it's been able to withstand some of the financial pressures due to the current COVID-19 crisis, with the help of some careful planning and monitoring, and also some grants that you've received. So I'm happy to report that the audit went as well as it could this year. This has been a strange year for so many things, but it did go well considering everything. This has been a difficult year on so many levels, but again, I do appreciate all the cooperation from everybody here at the city. Governmental accounting can be challenging, in a normal year, but throw in COVID and so many other things, it just adds a whole other set of issues. But the finance department and everyone we worked with did an excellent job in accumulating information. Everyone was so cooperative, and we really appreciate that. The city, I'm sure you probably know it, but if you don't, I want to say it. You're very fortunate to have such qualified financial personnel working for you. Mr. Alexander, Ms. Bryant, they're excellent, and they provided so much help, and they were very helpful. It was very beneficial to me in conducting this audit, and I do appreciate both of them so much for all the hard work that they did do. And all the employees that I spoke with, everyone was so conscientious. Everyone wanted to do a good job. You could tell when I would ask them a question, they would try to answer as best they could, and they want to say, is this right? Do I need to be doing something different? So everyone was very conscientious and wanted to be doing everything correctly here. So I do appreciate the cooperation from everyone. So now to the report. If you look on page 1 and 2, this is the independent auditor's report. This is after the appendix, after the preliminary section. But basically on the bottom of the first page it says our opinion, and so in our opinion, the financial statements present fairly the financial position of the city. I'm paraphrasing that long paragraph, but what this is an unmodified opinion. This is a clean opinion. This is what you want. So there were no findings, there were no problems, no issues. So you got a clean opinion, and so that is what you've had for years, and that's what you want to continue to have. So I'm happy to say that you did have a clean opinion. So let's go to page 14. And what page 14 is, I'm just going to hit a few highlights and try to just mention a couple things. But on page 14 is a statement of net position. This is just a snapshot of everything that the city owns and everything that the city owes to someone, all the assets, all the liabilities. And you'll just see at the bottom right-hand corner, you see total net position. So the total net position of the city is $54,763,600. So that is your net position. That's all your assets less your liabilities. And there's deferred outflows and inflows, but basically that is your net position. So this includes everything. This includes debt, all your assets. I like to focus maybe on the fund financial statements. So let's look at page 16. I want to look at the general fund. This is maybe where we're more familiar. But look on page 16, and I'm sure you've heard it, and I've always heard that a good rule of thumb is to have about 3 months worth of expenditures covered with your unrestricted fund balance, 2 to 3 months. And so I try to calculate that. So your unassigned fund balance in the general fund, you'll see it's $5,062,294. So that would cover almost 3 months, 2.7 months, about 81 days of expenditures. So that's in line. That's a good place to be. You don't want to get a lot lower, and that is higher than last year. So you have made improvements there. But just looking at the governmental funds, you see the total assets are $8,444,000. I always like, well, let's compare this. How does this compare to last year? That way you kind of know, we have a benchmark, you know where you are. This is up $2,352,000 from the previous year. But the largest increase is in grants receivable. So at the end of the year, you applied for a grant and received it later on, but that grant was for some COVID relief funds of $1.3 million, and you also had a grant from the airport. So one of the largest increase in these total assets is this receivable of this grant money. You also had an increase in cash, about $742,000. But one of the biggest increases, you had a large increase in grants receivable. And you see the total grants receivable is $1,564,000. The biggest part of that is the COVID relief funds. So you can see and just for your reference, you can look on page 80 in the report, and on page 80 it will show last year's numbers right next to it, so you can do a quick comparison there if you want to know how you compared in every one of those categories. But your net position is up $1,300,000. Let's look, of course, then the other column, the other governmental funds, that's your ABC, municipal aid, co-severance, restaurant tax, and those, for your information, are on page 78. You can see the detail of all those. I'm just kind of giving you little notes to make if you want to go and have some pleasant nighttime reading. You can enjoy it with these references and finding things easier. But on page 18, this is kind of like the profit and loss for the governmental funds. It shows your income and your expenses. You see at the bottom, you come down to the fund balance of $5,864,000. That's what we just talked about just a second ago. But you have your assets. I mean, your revenues. Your total revenues are $18,642,000. How does this compare to last year? Well, it increased $2,557,000. So, where did this increase come from? You know, you want your revenues to increase all the time, and this did increase. But again, a big increase of this was grant revenue. You're not going to count. You can't count on grant revenue every year. But thankfully, there were some grants available to you that you did receive. So, you had grant income of $1,995,000. That's an increase of $1,427,000 over the prior year. So these grants did help pay for a lot of expenses that you would have had to come up with some money elsewhere to pay for. But the occupational tax revenue went up about $100,000. Everything else was plus or minus, in line with last year, except then contributions. Your contributions to the city were, you see, $1,056,000. That's up $1,023,000 from the year before. Of course, you received the money for the sports complex and some Mar Park, some different contributions. So even though your revenues were up $2,557,000, they're not, they were from grants and from contributions. So your revenues were $18,642,000. Your expenditures were $22,850,000. So expenses, were more than your revenues. But then, how did this compare to last year? It increased about $2.7 million over last year. You won't, you can't compare it on this page, but you can look back in the note, back on page 81, and you can see last year's numbers and this year's numbers. But that is a increase. The expenses increased about $2.7 million, and the biggest part of that was just capital outlays, construction, buying equipment, this type of thing. But you had a positive change in fund balance of $1,299,000. So that is good. You did have a increase in fund balance. What I'm going to look at next, let's look at page 20 and 21. These are the proprietary funds, and the proprietary funds are your light fund, water and sewer, and sanitation fund. These should be able to cover their own expenses and even have a profit. That you can have a profit in these. But you see the three columns you have on page 20 is the assets and liabilities, like the statement of net position, and on page 21 is what some people call the profit and loss, but it's called the changes in fund position. Statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in fund position. Everything was pretty consistent on the the statement of net position. No huge thing to look at. What I want to do, I want to talk about the sanitation fund. You see the sanitation fund, and you look down and you see the total net position is negative $592,778,000. You see the unrestricted net position is a negative $2,033,915. So sanitation has a negative unrestricted net position, where the light department has a positive $3,260,000. Water and sewer has a positive $1,944,000. Those funds are positive. Sanitation is negative. Look on the next page, on page 21, this is the statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in fund balance. You see toward the bottom there's a change in net position. The light had a positive change, $747,000. Water and sewer had a negative change of $524,000. And sanitation had a negative of $426,000. The water and sewer had a negative change, $525,000 about, but yet factored in that is $2.9 million in depreciation. So that didn't, when a lot of people say, well, let's add back depreciation. Where would it have been if we added back depreciation? So it was positive if you take out depreciation, the way some people look at that. But also, the water and sewer fund has a strong fund balance. It can absorb deficits. It can absorb decreases in net position, because it had a beginning net position of $40,742,000, the water and sewer. It still ended with $40,218,000, where the sanitation department started with a negative net position of $167,000. It ended with a negative $592,000. So let's look on page 103. I want to talk about sanitation just a little bit more. And on page 103 is a comparative schedule. It has 2019 and 2020 revenues and expenses. And so just quickly, you can kind of see the sanitation fees for 19, $3,425,000. For 20, $3,426,000. So that's just less than $1,000 increase in the sanitation fees. Recycling income went down, grain income went down, service and miscellaneous income went down, for a total decrease in revenue in the sanitation fund of $145,000. So the revenue went down, and then let's look at the expenses. The expenses, I'll go ahead, went up $259,000. So you have decreasing revenue, but your expenses continue to rise. So that's the opposite of what you want. You like to have your revenue increase and your expenses decrease, so you're increasing your fund position. But sanitation fund just seems to be having some troubles right now, struggling. And I look back a couple years. I mean, it's been building up to this. But see, the sanitation collection and disposal expenses went up $215,000. So that's a big part of your deficit, because the expenses went up without a matching increase in the revenue. So that's just wanted to talk about that. And I also want to mention another thing, and you guys, I'm sure you're aware of it, but there's an expense that has been and will continue to increase, and you have no control over it. It's the retirement expense. The contribution rate is anticipated to have another increase of another 12%. This is going to cost the city about $584,000. Thankfully, last year and even in this current year, you have some grant money that's helping to pay for these. But we can't rely on the grant funds to be there to help pay for these expenses that you can't get rid of. The current rate that you're using right now, you're having to pay 44.33% of the wages for hazardous employees, police and fire, into the retirement system. So of a policeman or firefighter's pay, over 44% has to go into the retirement plan. And then with the general employees, it's 26.95% is being contributed to this retirement plan. So that's just something that, again, you can't do anything about it, but you have to be concerned about where the funding is going to come from to pay for that in future years. And then as part of our audit, this year, as you know, you received some federal funds, so you had to have what's called a single audit or an audit under uniform guidance. And what we were talking the other day, and we kind of look at that as a specific audit for that program. You receive X dollars to be used for certain expenditures. So as part of this audit, we have to look and see that those monies were spent in accordance with the grant agreement. And I'm happy to report that there were no issues with that. We focused on, it was for payroll and for retirement benefits for the policemen. And so we had no issues, and you have a clean, unmodified opinion relating to that. So that is what you want. I ran through this very quickly, but my impression, this is my first year to perform the audit, and again, I appreciate being able to do that. And but being here and talking with people, asking for information, getting things. So my impression is that there is a excellent tone from the top. The conscientiousness of the employees, how hard they work and strive to get good, accurate information. It starts from the top. It starts from the council. It starts from the mayor, from Mr. James, from Mr. Alexander. It starts, and that seems to be enforced, and I appreciate that, and I want to commend you for all the hard work that everyone has done here. So there is a good tone that you set a good example and makes people want to do the correct thing, and that helps with internal controls. So again, it's our pleasure to be of service to you, to the city. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them now, or you can call me. Just call me anytime. But I appreciate being able to be here and do this for you.
Do you have any questions for Ms. Jones? I would like to say, Teresa, that we appreciate you all being flexible as we've been working through the coronavirus. I know that it's been a challenge at best, but you all definitely outperformed for us and overcome any challenge that you all were hit with, and we appreciate the fact that you all stuck it out with us and was able to complete this audit in a timely fashion. And we appreciate all of your input, and we appreciate your hard work on our audit. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Do we have any questions for Corey Alexander, since he's finance director? Or Rhonda Bryant? Or how about we just say congratulations, job well done. So thank you all very much. Thank you all very much for working with Teresa and making sure that we were where we needed to be. So great job.
They were tremendous.
Thank you so much, Teresa. All right, so next we have council committee reports. Do we need no? Okay. We need to accept the audit report. Okay, so do we have a motion to accept the audit report as written and presented by Teresa Jones?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. See, Rhonda's checking us already. Yes. Will. Will's got us. Thank you, Will. All right, next we will move on to our department reports. Fire Department Chief John Dunning.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. During the month of February, we had a total of 113 incidents we responded to. 68 of those was medical, 45 was fire related. Of all those incidents, 10 of those overlapped each other for a total of 9%. The property that we responded to for the fire incidents had a pre-incident value of $143,700, and we had fire losses for the month of February, $48,700. Average time from the time we was dispatched, we was responding, was 1 minute and 29 seconds. And we had dispatch till we was arrived on scene was 5 minutes and 17 seconds. Spent an average of almost 25 minutes, just shy of 25 minutes on each scene. We had 1,842 training hours for the month. On our inspections, we had 59 pre-incident plans, 27 fire prevention inspections, and 94 code enforcements. Had one community program, and we issued 2 smoke alarms. On page 2, this is a breakdown, a visual breakdown of our incidents we have and the percentage of it, of those 113 runs. And on page 3 is the businesses that we had contact with during the month of February. So I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Chief Dunning? All right, thank you, Chief. Next, we'll move into the Police Department report with Police Chief Steve Bryant.
Mayor Cotton, members of the City Council. During the month of February, the Police Department answered 3,051 total calls. I'd like to go down to felony arrests and note that February we were at 68, up from 54 the same month in 2020. And then if you move over a little bit, you can see that we are at 161 total felony arrests for the year, almost double where we were this time last year. I think that's a testament to the hard work of our officers who have been out looking for drugs and trying to get criminals off the street. Move down to accidents. We're holding steady. We investigated 41 accidents in February. That's down 1 from the same time period last year, even though we had some inclement weather during February, and I think that just shows that our Public Works Department did a great job taking care of our streets. I know I came out one of those mornings and our radio frequency was quiet, but I heard the county was working a lot of wrecks on the interstate, and KSP was too, so we were quiet, so that was a good job by our Public Works Department. Down at the bottom, our average response time this month was 3.86 minutes, down from 5 even same time period last year. Page 2, our drug seizures for the month. Methamphetamine, as usual, is the drug that we seize the most, and our total seizure amount and street value was $11,665. Page 3. Our traffic accidents, the highest times were Fridays at 10 a.m. and Saturdays at 6 p.m. And then let's go to the last page under Part 1 crimes and Part 2 crimes. In the third column where it shows the difference between February and January, we saw a decrease in all categories. So be happy to take any questions anybody has.
Questions for Chief Bryan? All right, thank you very much. Great job. Next, we'll move into new business. Our first order of business under new business is the first reading of an ordinance. An ordinance amending Chapter 97 of the City of Madisonville Code of Ordinances relating to garbage and refuse. So before we read that, we'll ask our Public Works Superintendent, Stephanie Gibson. I think she has a few things that she'd like to make some remarks on before we read that ordinance.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm seeking approval to raise our sanitation rates. This is something that we have not done for the last 5 years, but we have incurred some additional costs. One is our landfill rates that have continuously increased annually. And when we started in 2013, we were paying $14.83 per ton when we went to the landfill. We are currently at $18.69. So we have taken a 3.25% increase per year on our dumping rate. We've also noticed a hit in our recycling due to the recycling market being low. It's been that way for a while. Cardboard especially. At one time we were getting over $200 per ton for our cardboard. When it started to drop, it dropped as low as $35 per ton, and we're currently at $85 per ton is what we get for our cardboard now. We also lost one of our biggest clients that was bringing in quite a bit of cardboard to us. They got their own baler and started to do that in-house, so that also hurt our revenue there. So in 2019, our recycling revenue was $202,000. This year, we're projected to hit $58,000. So it's a big difference. After speaking with Robert and Corey, here are some projections that we made. No changes in revenue other than the rate increase. Payroll-related costs other than payroll are projected to increase 3% per year. CERS increases 12% per year. Other operating costs increase 2% per year. And of course, like I said, the landfill costs have increased, and the actual cap on that is 5%. So they can increase up to 5% per year. So by increasing these rates, we feel that it will offset these additional costs that we've incurred. Any questions?
Questions for Stephanie?
That is correct. What it is, our rates that we're getting charged for landfill and things of that have exceeded it. Yes, sir.
Other questions? Thank you, Stephanie. And at this time, we'll have the first reading of the ordinance amending Chapter 97 of the City of Madisonville Code of Ordinances relating to the garbage and refuse.
Be it ordained by the City of Madisonville, Kentucky as follows. Section 97.02 of the City of Madisonville Code of Ordinances is hereby amended to read as follows. The rates and charges, each residential customer shall be furnished 1/2 cubic yard toter and charged a solid waste collection fee of $23.75 per month. Everything else stays the same on that until we get down to the commercial part of it. And each commercial customer shall be charged in accordance with the following schedule for solid waste collection, transportation, or disposal services. This is for a 2 cubic yard container and the number of containers per customer. If we have pickups per month, if we have 4 pickups per month for 1 2 cubic yard container, it is $31.13. For 2, it's $62.27. 3, $93.40. 4, $124.53. 5, $155.67. For 8 pickups per month, it's $62.27 for 1, $124.53 for 2, $186.80 for 3, $249.06 for 4, and $311.33 for 5. For 12 pickups per month is $93.40 for 1, $186.80 for 2, $280.20 for 3, $373.60 for 4, and $467 for 5. 16 pickups per month is $124.53 for 1, $249.06 for 2, $373.60 for 3, $498.13 for 4, and $622.66 for 5. Then we're going to go to 4 cubic yard containers for the number of pickups per month for 4. For 1 container is $62.27, 2 is $124.53, 3 is $186.80, 4 $249.06, 5 $311.33. 8 pickups per month, $124.53 for 1, $249.06 for 2, $373.60 for 3, $498.13 for 4, and $622.66 for 5. 12 pickups per month, $186.80 for 1, $373.60 for 2, $560.40 for 3, $747.19 for 4, and $933.99 for 5. 16 pickups per month is $249.06 for 1, $498.13 for 2, $747.19 for 3, $996.26 for 4, and $1,245.32 for 5. Number of pickup per month, 4 for 1 container is $93.40, 2 for of $186.80, 3 $280.20, 4 $373.60, 5 $467, 8 $186.80, 373.60 for 2, 560.40 for 3, 747.19 for 4, and 933.99 for 5. For 12 pickups per month is $280.20 for 1, 560.40 for 2, $840.59 for 3, $1,120.79 for 4, and $1,400.99 for 5. 16 pickups per month, $373.60 for 1, $747.19 for 2, $1,120.79 for 3, $1,494.39 for 4, and $1,867.99 for 5. 8 cubic yard container. Number of pickups per month for 4. For 1 container is $124.53, $249.06 for 2, $373.60 for 3, $498.13 for 4, and $622.66 for 5. 8 pickups per month, $249.06 for 1, $498.13 for 2, $747.19 for 3, $996.26 for 4, and $1,245.32 for 5. 12 pickups per month is $373.60 for 1, $747.19 for 2, $1,120.79 for 3, $1,494.39 for 4, and $1,867.99 for 5. 16 pickups per month is $498.13 for 1, $996.26 for 2, $1,494.39 for 3, $1,992.52 for 4, and $2,490.65 for 5. The container boxes stay the same. And then you will have, though, in addition to the base rental, a tipping fee of $26.72 shall be charged per ton for the contents of each container. And then you go down to paragraph F, the fee for the solid waste delivered to the transfer station during regular business hours shall be $26.72 per ton with a minimum fee of $15 per delivery.
Okay, next we will move on to, I think I missed a couple of those. Would you mind going back and reading a few of those?
Did I get a,
If you have 4 gallons and it picks up 3 times a week, what's the charge?
don't do 3 times per week.
Next we'll move, good job, Kim.
Thank you.
Next we'll move on to resolutions. The first resolution is a resolution declaring pumps as surplus property.
Whereas the wastewater collection department has 4 pumps owned by the city of Madisonville to be declared surplus, and whereas the wastewater collection department requests to dispose of the pumps by means appropriate according to KRS 82.083, now therefore be it resolved, the pumps are now declared as surplus property, and the city is authorized to dispose of the pumps by means according to KRS 82.083.
Do I have a motion to approve the resolution to surplus the pumps? A motion of a second?
Yeah.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Next, we'll move to the resolution to accept bid for scrap remote read meters.
Whereas the city of Madisonville advertised to accept sealed bids for a 2,500 to 3,000 scrap remote read meters to be opened on February 22nd, 2021 at 10 a.m. And whereas the city of Madisonville did not receive any bids to be opened at that time. Whereas on March 11, 2021, Robert James, city administrator of the city of Madisonville, received an email from Larry Stevens of Complete Meter with a price of $30,000 as shown on the attachment hereto. Now therefore be it resolved that the city council accepts the price of $30,000 for the scrap remote read meters to Larry Stevens of Complete Meter. And there is the email where he has offered that.
All right, do I have a motion to approve the resolution to accept the bid for scrap remote read meters for $30,000?
So moved.
Motion to have a second? Have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye.
Well-
Oh, wait a minute, we have a question.
Just curious, what did we anticipate getting out of these? Is-
We were looking between 20 to 30,000 on them.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Next, we have a resolution to declare computers as surplus.
Whereas the city of Madisonville, the IT department has 10 computers to be declared a surplus. Whereas the city of Madisonville requests to dispose of the 10 computers by means appropriate according to KRS 82.083. Now therefore be it resolved as follows: the 10 computers are now declared as surplus property, and the city is authorized to dispose of the computers by means according to KRS 82.083.
A motion to approve the resolution to declare 10 computers as surplus.
Moved.
Motion to have a second? Have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Next, we have an item for discussion, permission to apply for the Pride Recycling Grant. So we'll have Ms. Stephanie Gibson come back up.
This is a grant that we apply for every year. It benefits our recycling program, and usually it's a way to make us more efficient. Usually if we apply, we are approved. And this year I am looking to use the grant funds to purchase a forklift. The ones that we have currently are pretty old. We have one that's the 2005, and it's at the end of its life basically. We use it every day in our recycling center to move our material, to load our trucks for shipment. So that is what we are wanting to do, as well as we do advertising for the iRecycle program through the grant, and usually some promotional items for that as well.
Do we have a motion to allow permission to apply for the Pride Recycling Grant? Have a motion, to have a second? Have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Is this a matching grant, or is this a 100% grant?
I think they match us. Yeah, it's not 50-50.
Any other questions? All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Next, we have a municipal order for the appointment of Emily McEnany to the Tourism Advisory Board.
It shall be and hereby is ordered by the City Council of the City of Madisonville, Kentucky as follows: that Emily McEnany shall be and hereby is appointed to the Tourism Advisory Board, that the term of Emily shall end on December the 31st, 2021, and that Emily shall serve in accordance with the laws of the United States and Commonwealth of Kentucky and the ordinances of the City of Madisonville, and that this order shall become effective upon adoption by City Council.
Do I have a motion to approve the appointment of Emily McEnany to the Tourism Advisory Board? A motion, do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. At this time, it brings us to the end of our meeting. I do want to say one more time, job well done to the team here in the City of Madisonville for this audit. Ms. Jones, thank you very much for your hard work in putting this together for us. And we appreciate all that our team does here for the city to make sure that we are following what we need to be doing to better serve this community. So thank you all very much. At this time, Adam is not here with us, so I'm not real sure how we're going to adjourn. We're going to have somebody to make a motion to adjourn in his honor.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Thank you all very much.